Hey everyone, today we are going to add some lens flares to your boring scenes. And no, we are not going to use any stock footage or image file. Instead, we are going to create these lens flares in After Effects. These are highly customizable and you can use them however you want. So let's begin. Alright, so right now I'm in After Effects and I'm going to add some lens flares to this logo animation which I created in Blender. Now in case you are interested in creating these kind of chrome logos, then I have a tutorial on my channel. I will put a link in the description and you can watch it. So now let's see how we can add some lens flare to really make this pop out. So first we are going to create a new composition. So let's call this one main. Width and height 1920 by 1080, frame rate 30 fps, and duration you can pick whatever you want. Just click on OK. Now inside this composition we are going to first create a solid. So right click, new, and let's create a new solid. You can make this black color, just click on OK. And I'm going to quickly call this one core, something like this. And in order to create these kind of lens flares, I'm going to use a free plugin called Saber, which is very handy. I will put a link in the description from where you can download it, and installation is very easy as well. So once you have installed it, you are ready to go. So we have this core, and on this one, I'm going to create a circular mask. So let's select the ellipse tool. Now make sure that this core is selected. Now you can click somewhere in the middle and hold on the shift and control key or command key on Mac. You can see that it will start creating a circle, something like this. And I'm going to just make this smaller. So here we have this very small circle. Now let's zoom out. And on this one, we are going to apply the Saber effect. So let's search for Saber. So let's drag it over here. Something like this. So first we are going to change the core type. So let's go under the customize core, and from the core type I'm going to change this to layer mask. So now you can see that the Saber is applied onto the mask, and we can play around with this by simply going under the Saber settings. So over here you can see we have this glow intensity. So if you want to make the core brighter, then you can just increase this up however you want. And for this example I'm going to just set this to somewhere around 150 for now. Now you can play around with the glow spread, and this is completely experimental. So you can play around with these values however you want. And once you're done with this, you can see that we have this option called flicker. Now this is a very important option. So if I play, you can see that our core is just staying over there. Now if I increase this flickering intensity, something like this. So now you can see that our glow core is flickering. Let me just increase this quite a bit. So here you can see that now it is flickering. Now you can play around with the intensity, and I'm going to set this to something like 80 or 75 for now. So now if I play back, here you can see that we have this very nice flickering. Now you can play around with this value later on as well. So here we are done with our core. Now our next step is to add some light streaks. So in order to do that, we are going to create another solid layer. So right click, new, and let's create solid. And I'm going to call this one streak. You can call this streak 1 if you want. Just click on OK. And on this one, we are going to create a mask in shape of a streak. So for that, I'm going to enable the grid, and let's zoom in. And on this one, we are going to pick a point. So let's click over here. Make sure that this is selected, otherwise it will start creating a shape layer. After that, I'm going to just click somewhere around here. So we are basically drawing a star kind of shape. So let's click over here. And after that, we are going to just simply close this up. So let's click over here and let's click on this side. So now you can see that we have this shape, and we can probably turn our grid off, something like this. So on this one, again, we are going to apply the Saber, and let's do the same things. First, we are going to go under the customize core, and let's change this to layer mask. So now you can see that we have the edges on this side. So before we proceed, a lot of you watching right now have not subscribed to my channel, and I want you to please do that because I want to hit 100k subscribers this year on my channel. So make sure to subscribe and press the bell icon. So let's continue. Also, let's change its mode. So let's change the mode from normal to add. Now in case you are not able to see the modes option, then you can click over here on this icon to make this appear. Something like this. Now let's play around with the streak. So you can just simply double click on this. So it will add this transform box. Now you can just simply click, and you can hold on the control key to make this precisely on the both sides, something like this. So here you can see we have this very nice core, and let's play around with the intensities. So first we are going to go under the intensity of the streak. So we are going to lower this down a little bit so that we have much better view. Now I don't want these to be this big, so I'm going to just simply double click this. You can probably zoom in. So just go to the end, you can hold on the control key, just click and drag so that it will do it evenly on both sides, something like this. So here you can see we have this core. Now you can play around with its settings. So I'm going to make this little bit thinner, just like this. So yeah, this is looking fine. Let's play around with a couple of these settings. And under here you can play around with the size. You can make this smaller or bigger, however you want. I'm going to just make this somewhere around 30. This looks good. And let's do the same thing on the end as well. So over here we have the end size. So I'm going to set this to 31 as well, or 30, whatever you want, something like this, so that we have this very nice streak. There are a bunch of different options which you can play around, but for this one we are going to just focus on this one, core softness. So if I increase this, you can see that it will make this little bit blurry, which makes it look like a streak, something like that. Now we can go inside the flickering as well. So we can increase this to something like 30 or 75 maybe, just like we did with the core. So if I play it, you can see that the lens flare is flickering. Now you can increase this amount again by simply increasing this value. So I think this is looking fine. We can probably play around with the intensity, and let me just quickly make this a little bit brighter, just like this. So we have this one. So once we're done with this, we can create another copy of this streak. So let's select this, press Ctrl D, and we can probably select and press R, and I'm going to just rotate it to an angle. Now I don't want this to be this big, so we can probably select this, press S, and you can just simply lower down their size, something like this. So I think this is looking fine for me, and we can probably select this one, press S, and let's increase its size a little bit, just like that. Now I don't want this to be this bright, so we can play around with this intensity, and let's lower this down. Let's increase the core softness as well, just like this. We can probably select this, press T, and we can lower down its opacity, just like that. So we have this very nice edge. Now at the end, we are going to create another solid layer. So right click solid and just click on OK. And on this one, we are going to apply the lens flare effects, which is inbuilt inside the After Effects. So let's drag it over here. Now I'm going to again change the mode to add so that we can see what we are doing, and let's place it center to somewhere over here. And now we can play around with the lens type. So I'm going to set this to 105 mm. Now play around with the brightness, and you can just simply increase its value, just like this. So here you can see we have these very nice circles around this. Now let's quickly add our logo. So let's drag it over here and make sure that all the modes are set to add. Let's set this to add as well. Now if I go over here, you can see we have this very nice light leak. Now in order to control this, we can create a new null object. So for that, right click, let's create a new null object. Now I'm going to select all of them and just simply parent it to the null. Let me just quickly select this first, and let's scale this up so that we can view it clearly. Now let's select all of this except this one, and I'm going to just parent it to the null so that we can move the null, and you can see that our light leak will start moving with it. And for this one, we have this lens flare, and I'm going to just simply add an expression so that it matches the position value. So let's select this and hold on the Alt key and just click on this stopwatch so that it will add an expression area. Now you can pick whip and just select the position, just like that. Now if I select the null object and start moving it, you can see that it will move the lens flare with it. Now you can again play around with a couple of these settings. So let's go under the core, and I'm going to decrease its size a little bit, just like this. So over here we have everything. Now we can probably select this and let's place it wherever you want, somewhere around here. Now you can add position keyframe and you can just animate it however you want. So let's go to very beginning and let's place it over here, and let's go to the very end, and I'm going to just move it a little bit, just like this. So now if I play back, here you can see we have this very nice light leak, and you can see that it is flickering as well. Now if you want to change the color, then you can just simply go inside this and you can just change this color to whatever you want to match your scene. So for example, I'm going to set this to orange. Let's copy this and I'm going to change it to everywhere, just like this. So here you can see we have added the color to our lens flare. Now in the same way, you can add multiple copies of it. So for that, you have to just simply select all of these layers. Then you can right click and let's click on pre-compose, and let's call this flare 1. Just click on OK. Now we have this flare 1 composition over here. Now we can select this, press Ctrl D to duplicate this. Now we can drag it over here. So with that we have this flare 2. Just make sure that the mode is set to add so that the bottom part is visible. Now we can just move it however you want, and you can open this up and you can play around with the colors of these and you can change them however you want. There you go. So here you can see we have changed the color, and again you can play around with the animation within the composition. So you can just go inside it and you can just play around with the null object and its position, and all the things will be applied over here. So in this way you can create these kind of lens flare and you can add them to your scenes. Also, I have created a pack of 4 different flares which are available on my Patreon. So if you're supporting me over there, then you can download it from there. All of these are ready to use, so you can just drag and drop onto your scene and you're ready to go. So all these are available on my Patreon. So that's it for this tutorial. My name is Abhishek and I'll see you in the next one.